Okay.
Thank you very much. Ketchup?
Thank you.
Hey.
You are.
Can I Tabasco?
Rabbit?
No, I'm not for that.
You have a rabbit?
Yeah, right?
Ta-da!
Thank you very much.
Enjoy, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys want one?
Maybe.
This is the point of the podcast where everything slows down, the food arrives. Now, Steve's face will get redder and redder.
Well,
He's not used
now
to
that you've taken a bite of that, would you mind introducing the show?
Yes. Hey everybody, this is the Post Movie Podcast. I'm Steve Head,
I'm John Black.
and we are here at the Trident Cafe on Newbury Street in Boston about an hour or so after seeing M. Night Shyamalan's The Last Airbender. And I'm not quite knowing what to say after this.
It's
God.
yeah, I yeah, we don't know what to say. I didn't like it. I mean, but I didn't hate it. I just kind of felt like I was watching nothing. It was really blah. First of all, there was a little controversy about it with it being in 3D. I guess it wasn't filmed. It's like
one of those.
Clash of the Titans. It wasn't filmed in 3D, but then hey, we're not going to make much money off this anyway, so let's milk them for all they can and add $3.
I'm glad I didn't know that before, and I was looking forward to some real 3D.
3D wasn't that spectacular.
No, it wasn't.
The thing is that, and the general roundup of the story is, there's this. It's set in a different time, different place, whatever. And there are tribes. There's an earth tribe, a water tribe, an air tribe, and a fire tribe. Fire tribe are the bad guys. They're trying to beat water, land, and air. The leader of the air clan was supposed to be proclaimed, which is funny, the Avatar. This is called The Last Airbender because they can't call it Avatar, obviously. So 100 years ago, when he was going to be proclaimed the leader of everyone, he chickened out and ran away and got frozen in the lake.
Monk.
Yeah, he got frozen in a giant ball of ice. 100 years later, he gets woken up, rallies the troops, and fights the fire guys. Two problems I had. One is that, Earth, you can snuff out fire with earth, you can blow it out with air, and you can drown it with water. Why these guys are always fighting the fire people when they could just dump a whole ocean on them and put them out? It made no sense to me. But then the whole thing is that...
Well, he didn't think he had the ability.
But he's not the only one who can do this.
there's water. We find a water tribe that makes an entire city out of ice, by waving their arms in some kind of generic kung fu motion. But they can't put out a fire.
You know why? It's because their self-worth has been taken to such a low.
By what? Because
they just need counseling.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They need a lot of counseling.
Encouragement. Well, that was true.
They
The
needed
Earth.
encouragement.
That was true of the Earth people, but those northern water people, where the battle was brought, they've been on their own for a long time.
Yeah.
They're all right. They're cool. They don't hate their fathers or
There's no
mothers.
challenge there. It's but they can't.
I can control all the water, but
Yeah, exactly. Who respects that?
No, you're doing really well trying to put up the other side of a.
I'm the water guy. I'm not as cool as fire guy. It's like being a high school nerd. I get an A on my test, but I can't throw a touchdown. Fire guys are sexier. I get that, I guess. Although it's
Even fire guys have self-worth issues. Mm-hmm. The son of the king of the fire guys.
and this is part of what makes the movie boring. Boring. I wanted to like it, and a half hour in after following,
Wind up eating all the fries.
trying to follow the story, I was just like, oh my god, the pacing is just
it's
abysmal.
And it's all exposition. There's no dialogue. There's no
lot of
emotion.
exposition.
It's just people, in different outfits showing up to explain what you're about to see, and then they show it to you. And the thing is, the first time someone bends water, or bends air, or bends fire, or bends earth, it's cool. But it's the only trick they've got. And so pretty much it's just, look, he's blowing more things around. Ooh, she's throwing more water balls. There's another fire trick. It's the same trick, and they just do this really lame, I know, please send me hate mail because I'm going to get this wrong. There's this lame, interpretive dance. It's probably some master kung fu move, but it looks stupid. It looks like, they're warming up for the ballet, where they wave their arms around and just pose.
Lots of dancing in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and we should. They actually had a karate school demonstration before the screening, and the moves were better than that. That was better than the movie.
That's what my girlfriend Sarah said. She thought that the favorite part of the whole thing was the demonstration that the Karate Kids did before the movie started.
Well, there was real life in that action.
Right.
Even when it wasn't done as well because the kids were little or whatever, there was real energy behind it.
Yeah, they weren't just posing for the special effects team to make fire shoot out their hands. And just, again, it's just the plotting of this thing, and so many locations. Every 3 minutes that you'd see the titles, we're now in the northern land of the Airbenders.
It was consistent, and I felt it was hard to follow. And it starts off with the narration from the girl, doesn't it? Katara.
Yeah.
It was,
No, it starts off with Star Wars exposition. With the text scrolling up the screen.
It all comes back to Star Wars.
She's a waterbender from the Southern Waterbenders
Association. Hey, where do you get your license in waterbending anyway,
But she hasn't fully developed her waterbending.
Right, until the plot needs her to.
And through some unspoken earnestness, when this giant ball of ice emerges from the frozen tundra, she takes her brother's walking stick, whatever it is, and just happens to hack into the ice ball and then release the airbender with is like a furry flying platypus.
It reminded me.
Falcor.
It reminded me of the giant puppet characters in Maurice.
Where the Wild Things Are.
Yeah, the Maurice Sendak thing. Yeah.
I think he tried out for that. He couldn't get it, so he had to do Airbender.
It was a tail. I bet
It was. It was. That was a weave. That wasn't his tail. That was a weave. You could tell. But and that's the thing.
Going on this ball.
You just
You gotta pace yourself. This is
He gets so excited. He's gonna be a buffalo wing bender.
Man, we're gonna be able to see by the light of Steve on the way home. You're gonna be glowing.
But
It's kind of cool when his eyes glowed and stuff like that. But
yeah, but that's what, a minute. And again, it's too much. It doesn't do anything but that. You've seen that on the preview, and it, the way they set it up for the sequel is so ham-handed. It's like, yeah, all right, I knew there'd be a sequel if you make enough money, but don't
if that happens.
Give us the two. That's just it. Are people going to want to see this? Are they going to want to pony up the extra money for 3D to see this?
I think the kids are going to find it boring. I mean, or maybe we're missing something here. Maybe what this is about these karate moves that these kids are doing that the kids are going to dig.
There was a reason for them in the Karate Kid. There was fighting. There was action. There's no real action here. They pose. They don't battle each other too much.
Oh, that's true. And I think the other thing is there's no real peril.
Well, that's it.
Right.
So thinking about those moves, I think about Kung Fu, the TV show, which I really loved. So
right.
Maybe that's a guilty secret. I don't know, but
no.
I mean, I love the moves. I love the philosophy, and I love the action. So there was a genuine conflict in those episodes.
Right.
And so you had this alien culture in the Western context, and you had whatever was going on with him in his flashbacks. You still had the present danger or the present conflict, and that had to be resolved.
Right.
And it tied in, everything tied in, but there wasn't any sort of like, that now we have to go here, now we have to go there, or this has nothing to do with that, but this is where we have to go next.
Right.
It felt like there was some purpose to everything. Here you felt like the story was just simply dragging you along, like a dog
kicking and screaming. Yeah.
I mean, I felt like, giving Shyamalan the benefit of the doubt, I felt like, oh, geez, did I miss something? I don't know.
No, and we were wondering, do you think this is penance for him having so many flops in a row that he had to do like the studio film?
I'm actually kind of thinking that this could be
the
his
final nail.
Last Airbender. This was I had thoughts of Chronicles of Riddick while watching this. Something that was visually entertaining, but it's just exceptionally
Did
dull.
he do Chronicles of Riddick?
No, he didn't.
No, why'd that come
But
up?
my point is that David Twohy hasn't really done anything since Chronicles of Riddick. At least that I can remember. I don't know. Maybe he directed Babylon AD. I don't know. But he had the big blank check with, as far as I know, with Chronicles of Riddick.
I get the feeling there
same
wasn't a
feeling here,
big
and-
blank check here. I got a feeling this was pretty much. You just get the feeling he was hemmed in, saying, make this movie for this money on this time and don't fuck it up.
What if it's like you made The Sixth Sense, that made a couple $100 million, at the time, exceptionally successful.
Yeah.
You sold the screenplay to Unbreakable for a couple million, like a record number at the time.
Right.
Your early success has given you 10 years to come up with something that can kind of match it. And I dig Signs, but
Girl in the Water.
time is up.
Yeah, Girl in the Water. The Happening. And I was telling Paul, do you remember his first movie?
Yeah, he did
With
this,
Rosie O'Donnell?
With Rosie O'Donnell playing a nun.
Yeah,
it
something
was about
like-
a coming-of-age story with a kid at a boarding school.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
I don't remember the title.
Oh, I think it was, You'll Never Hear From Me Again, M. Night Shyamalan's,
Yeah.
But then, and I remember there was such a hype on that when it came out because it had the twist ending, but it was like a religious twist. And it was a really, really religious movie.
I don't
And
think I
it
saw
died.
it all the way through.
No, but I remember there was the studios were pushing the hell out of it. And the next thing he did was Sixth Sense, and we all enjoyed that. But I just have the feeling that he was, these were his last chance, his marching orders. Do this, and I'm sure the Paramount is it Paramount? Whoever Summit, who's this? Didn't know. It's a Liz movie, so it'd be. Is it Paramount? I think it's Paramount. But there'll be the studio push behind it.
It was, whatever.
There'll be a push behind it to make it, but it's going up against Eclipse. It won't stand a chance.
No.
And it doesn't deserve that big a chance. And it's funny, movies like this. I remember The Golden Compass.
I was just thinking about
Yeah, that's a...
That was a piece of crap. Same kind of theme,
it. It was I read a lot of these books. I did not read anything about the Airbender.
Yeah.
But I read Lord of the Rings. For me, everything comes back to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and I'm Showgirls.
But there you go. What a triangle. So I read the books in the Golden Compass, and it was a very interesting series and stories. Very interesting characters. It took a little bit of time to get into it, but
Right.
But the writer, I thought he did a very good job. None of that was apparent in the movie.
Right.
And so it's a tragedy that such an interesting idea can't be conveyed visually.
Right.
It's just a shame.
But so there was that. I remember. What was I saying before? Oh, Dragon Ball Z got made into a live-action movie. Didn't work.
Well, I think you're right. It's so much context.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
There's just the Super Mario Brothers. There's like this whole subgenre of these crappy, either cartoon or video game movies. They're like low budget. They're things that shouldn't be done by live actors.
Exactly. Okay, well, hear me out on this. I feel that some of the dialogue in this movie was like you were reading the anime, or you were watching the anime, and these words were coming out of flesh and blood people, and it just didn't seem to relate. It was like it's like it all comes back to Star Wars. This is bad Star Wars writing.
Right.
This is Return of the Jedi pontification. This is not good.
I like the Return of the Jedi.
This is Phantom Menace stuff. This is Phantom Menace territory. This is Spaceballs.
No.
The animated
like
series.
To see again, actually. But on the bright side, it's an incredibly beautiful film. The
Airbender?
yes.
Oh, I didn't think so. I thought it was way too dark.
The production design. It was dark
You gotta
because
take
of
your
the.
Well, yeah,
3D.
is that it? Was it the 3D glasses too dark?
I did watch a little of this without them.
You know, and I said this before, and I have to say it again because it's just a crime what they're doing with 3D. There was nothing that 3D added to this movie. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
And sometimes I took off my glasses just to see what the difference was.
The opening credits, the swishy fire in the water.
Still works without, yeah.
That was
And even if it was
the
blurry,
graphics.
there wasn't anything done with it. There wasn't anything about it that moved the story forward.
Right,
It was just stressful.
right.
You know, if that's all that 3D can provide. And I
Stop.
realize it takes a while for directors to figure out how to integrate new technology into their lexicon or whatever you want to call it. But you know, they got to try harder, or they just simply have to, you know, resign it to B movies until it finally comes into its own.
Right,
It's just
right.
a
Let me ask
waste of
this.
time.
Where was the climax of this film? I mean, what?
Big ocean scene
I
at the
believe
end?
when he
was it the
scared
title?
everybody away
Okay, I
with
just want to
the
be sure
title.
because it could have been a couple other things. So.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of mini climaxes, but you know the
I like
kids.
Well, can I say a spoiler?
Sure.
Because I am.
Warning, spoiler.
I know I'm adding an awful lot to the show than I normally do, but I was so disappointed and frustrated by this movie that I just can't keep quiet. So when the girl has to sacrifice herself for the fish spirits, yin and yang, and that was their names. You know, they did nothing
What's
with
the
that.
point of the sacrifice,
There was
though?
nothing with that drama. There was no. They didn't squeeze an ounce of pathos out of it.
Right.
And I'm generating more energy and emotion over
You were
that.
watching this, there was just absolutely
Yeah.
no drama.
What a
no meaning to it. I
waste!
mean, it's like,
What a waste.
they invented something that just came about as they were talking about it, and then we were supposed to care about it.
Yeah.
And
And the
it
thing is
just
that you've got kids who can't really act very well, spouting a lot of expository dialogue, and it just feels like they're reading it. And you've got adults who look downright embarrassed to have to say their lines.
yeah,
you know?
I don't know what M. Night Shyamalan is supposed to do from here on in, because we were of the opinion that this guy was the thing for suspense, for thrillers, for
For one, maybe two movies.
And how long is this supposed to go on?
I'm ready for it to stop. It could have stopped before The Happening. Dun dun dun. Which again had some great visual moments in it, the people falling off the skyscraper and stuff, but to find out it's Mother Earth at the end, it's like, come on. Please, just stop it. So
Yes, it was very.
You know, I'm looking at you've got a magazine open here with a bunch of
some
stills.
photos from the movie.
I'm looking at each one of these, and there's nothing about any of these pictures that are in any way pulling me in. There's nothing about it. This is,
It's just bland.
and if this is the best that they can do in order to get our attention,
Yeah.
then that demonstrates that even the nice visuals, the nice cinematography doesn't really.
well, you remember there's that shot of when the Firebender's armada comes in, and there's this big shot of them, showing us just how big the Firebender's ship is, because it's this big, but it felt so fake. It's like this big computer-generated thing.
Star Destroyer type of thing.
What?
Star Destroyer type of thing.
Well, but
It all comes back to
but the Star Destroyer, the first time you saw it, we all went, whoa.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
shit.
I looked at this and like, oh, come on, please. There's like little guys running around on a green screen while they draw this big ship around it.
About this.
No.
There's nothing ominous about it. There's really, I think, you see some guys dressed in black. You see the Firebenders
Who look like they raided
appear in a group of 5 in the middle of all the earthy people who refuse to acknowledge their powers until the kid shows up.
Yeah.
The only thing we know the only real reason we know they're bad guys is the fact that they're dressed in black.
Right.
They look different than everybody else. So this is just like just these hackneyed circumstances.
And it looked like they went to the fire sale from 300. They got the gladiator helmets, and it's like, oh please,
I will say though, the kid
I
that
think we're good.
alright.
All right, thanks, buddy.
The kid is exceptionally talented. I mean, his moves and
What kid? The lead kid, the creepy kid?
Yeah, Noah Ringer.
Creepy.
Plays Ang, 12-year-old monk.
Does he grow up to be
The
Ang
guy
Bak?
that's on the kid that's on the posters.
Yeah.
The kid.
Creepy.
The action. You know, some of the scenes
posing.
he pulls off are pretty good.
I thought the girl with the blonde hair and the
Yeah.
brown eyebrows was pretty
Yeah.
personally.
That, yeah,
I mean,
but
we
that
could
was a
dump on this
personal
movie,
moment.
dump on it, but, you know,
Why
it has-
bother?
It has
You
these
know?
moments that are actually like.
It's
It
short.
was a pretty cool movie. I can't believe how fucking short this movie was. I thought
Because it feels like it's hours.
I swear to you, I thought this movie, and I'm sorry, my earnestness is taking over, but I thought this was like 2 hours,
Nope.
and it was
90 minutes?
holy.
90
I
action-packed
thought it
minutes.
was like
You were able to
that
travel.
freaking boring.
This
Well, the
movie
thing is-
allowed you to travel into the future.
Yeah.
You were way ahead of the rest of us.
But here's the thing, it was dull and tedious at 90 minutes, but I swear if they stretched it out to 2 hours and gave us better characters and more story without exposition and stuff to care about, it might have
really
been better.
wanted something to like. I mean,
Yeah.
did you want to like this movie? Did you want to enjoy
No,
it?
I don't like, I watched the Nickelodeon series and it was for kids.
I wanted something.
And I wanted to be
I
entertained.
thought, you think this whole marketing of M. Night Shyamalan and him being the, Mr. Thriller. So we still have this impression that there's going to be like okay, that was cool.
The whole point.
Nope.
The whole point of fantasy, and even science fiction fits in that. And in a sense, all movies are fantasy. But the whole point of it is to somehow bring a reality that's in the world, that's in all our lives, and bring it forward in a way that surprises us. That in a sense it makes us face something that we're not necessarily willing to face. That's where that aha moment comes. That's when you say, oh my God, I get it, or I see, or wow, I never realized that. And yet, fantasy movies that are strictly fantasy seem to continually fail
Yeah.
on that because they take themselves too seriously. Maybe I'm not sure what the reason is, but I always hope, unfailingly, that whatever the film is, unless it's really stupid or it's got Adam Sandler in it, I guess that's the same thing.
Kind of.
I always hope that there's going to be something redeeming about it, or they're going to get it right. They're going to do something that is going to be, and that happens often enough that I continue to hope, but not
Right.
often enough that it's a I can keep doing it until I die.
When was the last time it happened for you, Sailor?
Thanks for handing me that question. I can't recall. I can fall back on Lord of the Rings, but surely something must have happened since then. What would that have been? I can't think. It's not like I see a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And we do, and we're drawing a blank.
Yeah. Oh,
So I've saved a lot of time.
well, I saw this movie the other day, The Animal Kingdom. It's this Australian crime movie. I saw it twice in a week, and it was better the second. I liked it the first time. It was even better the second time.
Yeah,
and I was
regret
just
having
like,
missed it.
wow.
I regret
And then I I did an interview with the director, and we talked. I told him, these are the things I noticed the second time, and now I want to see the third time just from talking to him. And it was the moments that were shocking in the first viewing were shocking the second time. The characters were much more fun to watch. The story was still strong, and it was one of those moments. It was like, okay, good. Now I can sit through Grown-Ups and Night and Day and Last Airbender and
Are we done with
Eclipse.
Last
and,
Airbender?
yeah.
Yeah, I suppose so. I think we pretty much covered it up with.
Is that like a 5-hour show? This show's like the movie. It went on for like 2 hours.
Is there anything you can do
Unfortunate
to?
and tedious, and just please.
Is there anything that we can say that would basically redeem this podcast in terms of something else to talk about?
Well, I was intrigued by John's distaste of Cyrus, a film which I loved. Oh my God, man! You just don't like the Duplass brothers. You do not.
I don't like bad filmmaking.
This is not bad.
They're hacks. You can justify their
From a
bad
certain
technique all you
perspective,
want.
Yeah, it's got the shaky cam and the unfocused cam, but that's what they do. This is how
It
they
doesn't
cover
make it
their
right
thing. It's their-
or good.
It's their art house.
Are they auteurs? Are they auteurs? Is this their?
They, in a way.
How many films do you have to make before you can be crowned an auteur?
I was quite impressed with Cyrus,
Well,
and I've seen all of the Duplass brothers films.
So I think.
And I'm saying this because I enjoyed John C. Reilly's performance. I loved the way they built up this conflict between Jonah Hill and John C. Reilly, to the point where when he finally just says, "I fucking hate you," it's hysterical.
No, didn't laugh. I found it very creepy, but I didn't think it was funny.
Creepy. Jonah Hill was intended.
No, there were lots of creepy moments in the movie that I didn't laugh much at all. I thought John C. Reilly's performance was really good.
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed his stuff, even when he shows up in that vampire
Did you
movie.
believe that Marissa Tomei would be involved with him?
Are you kidding? After the way she introduced herself, of course.
Unbelievable.
One of the great opening lines for two characters to meet. I'll give him that.
Okay.
When he's taking a leak in the bushes, I was like, yeah, that's funny. But I never believed it was anything but Marissa Tomei and John C. Reilly
So
pretending.
you really hated Jonah Hill in this movie, and I feel like
I didn't think he did
playing the part
anything.
where he's playing the tough character, the character that you are supposed to kind of dislike because he's messed up in the head.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't relate to people the way people should relate. He's snowed his mother into thinking he's this wonderful guy, and John C. Reilly's character is between this rock and a hard place because he wants to be with her, but anything that goes wrong is just he's going to get blamed for it.
See,
Because the kid, Jonah Hill, he can't. He's got his mom wrapped around his finger.
See, I didn't
he can
believe
make the
that
boyfriend
part.
look like the bad guy, no problem.
No, I thought he was great being a dick, but I didn't find any kind of warmth between him and Tomei at all. I didn't,
Didn't
if
believe
she,
their relationship.
no, not all the creepy, mommy love thing, yeah. But as far as her believing that he was that good a guy, or that, that they were having fun and they had a special little world,
He is a completely
But it's a bad act.
disingenuous character.
I can't believe she's falling for it because I'm not believing it. I think he's a schmuck from the minute he walks on the screen.
That's what's disturbing about the movie, is that he has so used his mom to give him the life that he lives. He can snowball his mom, and he can live at home and get all the care that he needs. And so John C. Reilly's character comes in, and he's going to disrupt this, and this creates a problem.
But I couldn't pay attention to any of that because the direction sucked.
And also, all of the little things that are going on have to go on behind Marissa Tomei's back. All the little jabs, between like he can't. John C. Reilly's character can't reveal that he knows something screwed up. That this kid has been stealing his clothes, hiding his shoes, and he can't reveal this.
Because he's ballsless. Plus, this is when I wrote my review.
Stuff. It's like little freaky things that he's so trapped. And no matter what he says, it's going to come back to John C. Reilly. It's going to the hammer's going to come down on him. And as far as Jonah Hill's character is concerned, that's good.
See, in my review, I said, imagine watching a movie with John C. Reilly and Marissa Tomei and Jonah Hill, and it's interesting and it's quirky and it's all these good things, but someone keeps hitting you in the back of the head with a hammer. Every time that camera went out of focus or zoomed around or, oh, look, we're making a movie.
It's their style.
Well, it's not a style I appreciate, I guess.
Okay, so Sean Burns and I are going to have to do the...
In the octagon.
In
the
the
critics' octagon. I'm like Uli Bull. I will fight you for this to prove I'm right.
3 critics entered.
I walk out.
And the what takes the cake, the prize here is that John thinks...
No, John knows. John believes with all his heart that
Cyrus.
Grown Ups was a better movie than Cyrus.
God. Grown Ups.
I'll say it again. Grown Ups.
Fucking piece of shit.
I'm sitting right across from you. Don't just think you're talking to the audience. I won't hear that.
I didn't want anybody in the restaurant to hear that. It was just an insult, filmically on every level. Adam Sandler is not a moron. It's just stupid humor.
I'm not a moron, but I play one in my movies.
He knows exactly what he's playing to. It's just pathetic. Chris Rock, not believable for a second.
No, he shouldn't have. He could have been cut out of the movie. I wouldn't have noticed a thing. David Spade could have been cut out, and it would have been better.
Let me ask you, how many T-shirts do you think Adam Sandler packed for his
Career
3-4 day trip?
for his career.
To the cabin.
No, it's
And
part
how
of
many T-shirt changes does he go
I don't
through
know.
in this movie?
2 dozen.
So he went 2 dozen T-shirts over the course of 3 days.
He's a rich,
Unbelievable.
Hollywood agent. That's how they vacation. That's how they party. Look, I'm not going to try to.
Baking bacon on the screen of a bug zapper.
Yeah,
Just
kind of funny.
what do they call this? Arrow Russian roulette?
I'm not helping
where
you.
You shoot the arrow in the air.
Yeah.
And then it flies up in the air, and everybody looks up at it. And it gives everybody in this fucking movie a reason to run around like a fucking kindergarten idiot.
Didn't you kind of feel good when David Spade falls and his face goes right in a pile of shit twice? Even if just because you hate David Spade and you kind of enjoy seeing that.
This is these guys just acting like
It's I can't defend the laziness. It's extremely lazy filmmaking.
absolutely.
And it's
It's moronic filmmaking, and
well,
Dennis Dugan
it's moronic
is
behavior.
like Adam Sandler's tool.
It's moronic behavior on the screen. It's lazy on all parts, but it's a
Yes.
better. It's more well made than Cyrus.
No,
There were no focus problems in
that
Grown
was
Ups.
intentional on Cyrus. That was.
I don't know how much of it was intentional. I wish they had sat for the interviews and we could have sat there together and I could say,
it's as if we're watching them. We're sitting there in the living room watching this conversation. That's the intent of having that kind of a camera.
you can do that without fucking around with the camera so much. You can have intimacy in a scene without the director saying, "Hey, we're being intimate."
Thankfully, Dennis Dugan doesn't know how to do a shot like that, so you don't get.
They don't need intimacy in Grown Ups. Who needs intimacy?
Oh my God.
Do you need intimacy for
This
fart
movie
jokes?
just didn't know
No.
what it wanted to be. They assumed that we were in on their joke. They assumed that we thought they
No,
were.
they don't care about us. They don't care
the
about
bomb.
us.
They were the cast of Japanese. They thought, and not only that, they thought that everyone in the movie, everyone that like when they do their freaking basketball game at the end, like that they're able to orchestrate the reactions of the crowd. That Steve.
I'm sorry, but these Duplass brothers are trying to orchestrate my viewing of their crap by going out of focus?
John,
Please. It's the same thing.
It's
You're
a
telling
tool.
They're both tools.
No.
No,
It is. It is okay. Did I already explain this? I think.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it doesn't work for me. I don't think.
You don't. You have. I mean.
I think it's
you don't
bad
like
filmmaking,
the
not
self-untitled.
style.
You didn't like Baghdad.
No,
You didn't like Hannah Takes the Stairs.
no.
I loved it.
Well,
Did you
know,
see the puppy? You didn't like the puppy chair?
No.
Okay, I did.
they just,
I thought that was.
Of those
There's a certain reality to it. There's more reality into how these characters relate to each other in Cyrus than any of the just stupid, idiotic, fake bullshit that goes on in grown-ups.
no, there isn't.
Okay, well let me weigh in because I think you guys really have to, put this on the ground and it's in the depths.
Just say I'm right, he's wrong. We can
No.
move on.
First of all, the two movies are not anywhere near each
They're
other.
very
So you can't compare the one is better than the other because
Oh, yeah, you
you're going
can.
down the no. All right, I'm not going to get in the middle of this. I'm just going to make it. Say
We're going to do the apples and oranges thing?
no. I'm
about
going
I
to
admit
say
some
you're
things?
both.
I'm
you're,
not giving you-
You're just saying that an Adam Sandler movie is a skit movie that just simply has a bunch of jokes and everybody is in on the joke.
Everybody in that film was not trying. They lounged their way
It's-
through the
sure.
But I mean, that's their style. You know what you're going to get from David Spade. And you know what you're going to get from Adam Sandler. And that's exactly what they deliver. Even if they deliver it by phoning it in. The fact is, they're only doing what they can do. The problem
That's
with
gross.
there is no story to the movie. There can't possibly. I haven't even seen this. I can't imagine there's a story to the movie that could possibly hold you. It's the characters.
It's
and
gags. They're just gags.
So the problem with Cyrus, and this is only taking it from what I've heard you guys talk about
Okay.
is the fact that it's a story, and you have to have this, John's putting out his, you have to,
John is now reading a magazine while Paul's
No, I'm listening. I'm
I
listening.
can just imagine anybody else listening.
I guess he doesn't want. I don't want to give him eye contact while he goes over this. That's all.
So, the story, you have to sell the story as a whole. You can't just simply say this part was good and this part was good. And that's what you do about a movie that doesn't make it.
No.
You're basically trying to salvage the best parts of it. If it were good overall, then you would be able to sell the whole thing.
Cyrus, I was riveted. Grown-ups, I was mostly thinking about how the hell do I get out of the theater.
I got a feeling, I'm going to side with John, at least on the ham-fisted aspect of the filmmakers.
Okay.
They may think they have a style, and maybe the style will be demonstrated, but they may not handle that style as well as somebody who can actually make a movie that's coherent and cohesive.
Okay, John,
Yes.
let me give you a couple of examples. I did laugh a couple of times during Grown-Ups.
Aha!
At the, like I said, the male model with the exceptionally high voice.
Yeah.
That was very funny. I laughed at
We're
the.
still working it.
Oh God, when else did I laugh?
Kevin James getting out of the pool.
Kevin James getting out of the pool. That was funny. For a moment when the baby pool scene with the blue dye in the baby pool. That was kind of funny for a moment. I probably laughed at something else, but it's not coming to me.
Okay.
And now, Cyrus, did anything make you laugh?
I told you, Marissa Tomei's opening line.
Okay.
But the whole thing is, I can't concentrate on a movie where I think the direction is so fucking annoying.
So it's like this creative element that just takes you out of the movie automatically.
It's like trying to tell a story when someone's doing this.
But John, what do you think of like French New Wave? What do you think of when someone's just picking up a 16mm camera and taking it outside this, into the street and filming something and trying
Some
to
of
make
it works for me. I'm going to see Breathless Saturday. That's a great movie. Some of it works, and they were made 50 years ago. Some of them don't. I can't. What is it? The Bicycle Thief? I hate that fucking movie.
Well, the purpose is that it's the whole. Well, I can't say this applies because actually Cyrus is a Fox Searchlight film, but the idea is that the people who love movies are taking them back, and they're breaking it out of the studio and they're filming it the way they want to with their handheld cameras. And that's kind of what the Duplass brothers represent, because they're totally, until this movie, or actually until back, they represent being outside the studio system. They represent, making it
outside by choice or outside because they
DIY
just
movies.
Right.
That's kind of what. So they were bringing some of that element in. So it's anyway.
So with the French New Wave movies that I've seen and enjoyed, it's the story strong enough, the acting strong enough that I'm not annoyed by the handheld work.
Okay.
But in this one, the handheld work was so ham-fisted to me.
Didn't you like it when he was outside the house trying to figure out, where she lived and if she had the sun and the angles of the camera? Okay.
No.
All right. But then all right. I was going to try to make an analogy again to Grown-Ups about. Oh man, it's like either you're with the movie or you're not.
Right, and I'm telling you I'm not. And I'm telling you I'm not with Cyrus. That's all. We'll always have showgirls. We'll always agree on something. You'll
Hug.
Yeah. Showgirls hug.
There's the future of world peace right there.
Right. If they would just drop copies of Showgirls in the Middle East, we could solve this thing.
Oh man. Shall we end it right there?
I think.
Is that good?
How can you beat that line?
All right. Until next week, this is Steve Haddon, Post Movie Podcast.
I'm John Black.
And hey, don't forget to check us out at post-movie.net and on Facebook. And as always, be sure to send us an email. We'd love to get more emails than we do because
We can't be the only two who feel this way.
So,
don't make us think we're alone in a forest here.
Post-movie podcast.
Shooting arrows in the air.
It'd be really nice if you get people on Facebook to weigh in on the grown-ups and the...
Oh my!
We'll at least get Sean. Just post it up and Sean will write all over it.
Oh my God!
All right.
Okay.
We done?
Yeah. Send us an email at postmoviepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of our opinions. And until next week, I'm Steve Head.
I'm John Black.
So long, everybody.